Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, Pop Retro. You can find me at Pop Retro 1 on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/Pop Retro 1. Wanted to do a quick unboxing, not a review, but an unboxing of the new Mill Creek Entertainment produced complete series Blu-ray set of Dawson's Creek. And man, let me tell you, Dawson's Creek, I have really good memories of this show. It came out around I guess at the right time for me as a TV viewer. The WB itself launched in, January of 1995. And I was 19 years old. I was right in the middle of my freshman year in college. And by that point, I was really becoming a huge fan of movies and TV insofar as wanting to study the stuff and, always looking at the TV guide grids and keeping up on news and stuff like that, as opposed to just, flipping through TV channels to find something on to watch like a normal person. And so, I remember being really excited when the WB launched because back then in January 1995, there was no internet. I think the internet existed somewhere out there in a very, very primitive early form, but it was nothing that I knew about and nothing that anybody I knew had. So there was no streaming. There was no going online and finding information and smartphones to take all of your attention away. All there was really was cable TV to compete with and go along with your regular broadcast TV channels. Now, I remember my freshman year in college, we didn't have cable TV. We had rabbit ears, and it was in a small town on the coast, the West Coast. And we were able to pick up the CBS affiliate, I think the NBC and the ABC affiliate. And so the WB, along with UPN, which also launched in 1995, I think. In fact, I think they launched literally days within each other. We suddenly had two more channels with entertainment for free to watch. And that was really exciting for me, for this TV fan. And so I pulled some physical media off the shelf, just sort of in honor of the old WB. It ran from 1995 to 2006, when in 2006 the WB and UPN merged and formed what's now known as the CW. So there was an 11-year period there where the WB really was catering to this youth audience. And so, like I said, I was 19 when it launched, so I was still sort of in that demographic, that age group where that they were really trying to go after, which I don't remember what it was. It was 14 to 34 or something like that. So I was smack in the middle of that. And so it was an exciting time. Now, in 1995, I think they launched with a couple of comedies, sitcoms, and then started adding shows the fall of 95, the next TV season. And I remember in 1996, in January, I think, or really early in 96, they came out with a show called Savannah. And I really liked Savannah. It was a drama. It was an Aaron Spelling drama. And at the time, I was really getting into watching the 80s soaps, the primetime soap operas, Dallas, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, because I was too young in the 80s to watch that stuff. And so by the time the 90s rolled around and I was in high school, I got into Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place. And Savannah was kind of like, I don't know, just think of it sort of like a show like Melrose Place, essentially. Just another one of those nighttime soaps. It was really well made. And again, it was called Savannah. It was set in Savannah, Georgia. And I really enjoyed it. But it only lasted, I want to say, about a season and a half, maybe 2 full seasons. I think it only had 30 something episodes, because they pulled it in mid-season and they replaced it with this show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, when Buffy came out, it sort of changed the game, and Buffy was so popular that Savannah never came back. And by the way, I wish that somebody would put Savannah out on in a DVD set. I'd love to see that again. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer wound up kind of being the what do you call it, the peak show, the main identifying show for the WB at that point. And I think it was at that point where they really went all in on it being a network that skewed towards the youth, whereas UPN was also skewing toward youth, but they were really tackling the action and adventure series market, as well as some. They had some sitcoms too, but and they also had like WWF programming, I think, at the time, or maybe WCW. I can't remember which one, but anyhow. So what's also neat about this season 1 of Buffy, this was actually, this right here in my hand is my very first TV on DVD set that I ever bought. I looked at, before I did this video, I looked at the date, manufacture date, 2001. And so I remember, I think I probably saw it in Walmart, and I purchased this, and it just opened up a brand new thing where it's like, oh my gosh, I can ditch all these VHS recordings of shows that I have if they keep releasing full seasons like this onto DVDs. So I was really excited, but this was my very first one, and I still have it. Now, as it went on, other shows that have made it to physical media, the Buffy spinoff Angel, of course, I didn't pull one of those, but that also saw physical media release, obviously. And then a little bit later, you had Charmed, which was really, really popular, and also saw full physical media release, and also a Blu-ray, has been released on Blu-ray. Around 1998 or 99, I think, the TV show on the WB, they had Felicity, which again, this was another one that spoke to me because these were all college students. And so I was still in college, and I was about the same age as the people, the characters in the show. And there were some oddball shows that I remember fondly. And one of them was Popular, which again was a show about high schoolers. And this was by, Ryan Murphy, the guy who did Nip Tuck and American Horror Story, all those. I think this was like his very first show, or one of his very first shows. So in a very, very quirky show. And again, it just really helped to solidify what the WB was kind of becoming throughout the second half of the 1990s. And then started getting into some sci-fi and superhero stuff by the time 2001 rolled around. You had Roswell, and of course in 2001 was the premiere of Smallville, which wound up running for many seasons, and of course clicked over to the CW when there was a number of shows that were on either UPN or the WB that wound up being on chokes you up, doesn't it? On the CW as well. So they were still going. And then finally, the last one in my stack here, I think in 2002 or so, they tried to do another superhero show, Birds of Prey. This only lasted one season, but it did get a physical media release. So Dawson's Creek, it ran from 1998 to 2003. And again, it started as another mid-season show, I think. I think it's premiered in January of 98. Created by Kevin Williamson. And, the thing with Dawson's Creek was just how it was really kind of new at the time, the dialogue. It was like this smart, snappy dialogue with these teenagers that really didn't talk like teenagers. They talked a lot smarter than we actually talked, as teenagers. And that was kind of also sort of the joke of a lot of these shows at the time. Kevin Williamson had come off of writing the movie Scream in 1996, which really kind of started that going in the mid and late 90s, that whole genre of teen movies, teen shows based on young people, teens that were really, really whip smart and kind of self-aware about things. Starred James Vanderbeek, Katie Holmes, Michelle Williams, Joshua Jackson, and others that were in there were Mary Margaret Humes, John Wesley Shipp, Kerr Smith, Busy Phillips, and a lot of others over the course of its run. Now, of course, Dawson's Creek did come out on DVD And these are the Sony DVD sets that I picked up over the years. There was the complete first season. I remember when I got this years ago, I found it funny that it didn't have complete first season on the spine. So I remember when I had it on my shelf back when I was younger, it bothered me. It's like, man, why doesn't it say season 1? You know, but then we had season 2. I'm just showing you a little bit of the history of the physical media history of Dawson's Creek here. Season 3, season 4, season 5, and the final 6th and final season. So there you go. Now I get to give these away because the folks at Mill Creek Entertainment, some of my favorite people, they keep releasing a lot of these shows that I just figure, we have heard the last of. And they have released Dawson's Creek on Blu-ray. Blu-ray. And now you notice I've not opened this yet, so I'm opening it on camera. Now I have done some reading, some other people that have gotten their sets already. And apparently these are in widescreen. I'm not a big fan of changing the aspect ratio, but I'm not super bothered, especially if the show was perhaps shot with, with a mind to, because a lot of these shows in the late 90s and early 2000s, I think were shot in mind, with the future of where TV was going. It's like, I think they knew that we're going to have 16 by 9 TVs coming up soon. So let's shoot this in a manner that when these things go into reruns, we can show them in 16 by 9 widescreen instead of the 4 by 3. So there's a look at the box, a nice box. And I've also read with some others, from some others who have gotten this set, that they've restored a lot of the music that was replaced on the old DVD sets. So a lot of the music from the late 90s and early 2000s has been restored. And also I have read that the theme song has returned. Apparently it's a re-recorded version of I Don't Want to Wait, the theme song, and which probably has to do with licensing. The original master recording of the original from the 90s, the record company probably said no, or whatever, maybe wanted too much, so they had the song re-recorded, and that is what apparently has been streaming on streaming versions of Dawson's Creek. And apparently, from what I read, that's what's on here. Now I'm going to come back and do season by season reviews, and you can find those at drunktv.net. That's where I write TV reviews. And I'll be going more in depth about this stuff. So here I just wanted to open it up and show you what's inside. So seasons 1 through 3. You may already have this if you're a big fan. This one showed up for me later than a lot of people, but that's all right. There's a look at how it's packaged, with each disc getting its own tray. There you go. And it looks like it's the same art all the way through on these, just a little different color. Now this says seasons 1 through 3 on the front there. However, it looks like season 4, disc 1 brings up the rear of this first set, and then seasons 4 through 6 in the second box. There's a look at the discs. Same art again, just different colors for different seasons. So I'm looking forward to popping these in, giving them a spin, checking it out. There are some special features also in this set. Let's read through the special features real quick. Entertainment Weekly's 20th anniversary reunion, new interviews and crew featurettes, audio commentaries on select episodes, series retrospectives, and alternate scenes and ending to original pilot presentation. So there you have it, the unboxing of Dawson's Creek, the complete series on Blu-ray. And let me know in the comments, do you remember watching Dawson's Creek? And not just Dawson's Creek, but were you of the age that when the WB was airing between 1995 and 2006, were you a fan of WB programming? Was it something that you watched, or even UPN programming? You know, sort of the upstarts that were bringing people stuff like this, that, you know, NBC, CBS, and ABC were kind of skewing toward an older audience, and us youngsters were excited because we actually got this, because again, this was before the streaming age, before the internet really, and before a lot of other things. And especially if you didn't have cable, if you're a poor college kid like me, man, you just took whatever you could get over the air on your rabbit ears. And the WB and shows like Dawson's Creek were some of what I was able to watch back in those days. So hey, thanks for checking this out. I will be back with some more reviews and haul videos and unboxings coming up soon.